This matrix can be solved by either using the logic of your rows or your columns. For the sake of time, I'm just going to show you the column logic, but it is identical to your row logic, and if you were to apply it to your rows on your own, you would still come to the same answer. Let's take a look at column 2. Between row 1 and row 2, the first bar shrinks, the second bar shrinks, the third bar shrinks, and the fourth bar gets taller. Then between row 2 and row 3, some changes in these directions happen. The first bar is now going up where it was once going down. The two middle bars are still going down, and the fourth bar has also changed direction. It has started to go down. It tells me that there are 2 different points in each element where the bars will change direction. One of those points is at its maximum height, this little invisible line that exists in each element that shows us what the maximum height of the bar is. Once a bar reaches its maximum height, here are a couple places that it reaches its maximum height. Once it does, it will turn around and start to shrink away from that maximum height, and we can see that in all of these places throughout the matrix, even here. So that seems to be consistent throughout the matrix. The other point of change is at this middle dotted line. Once an element reaches this middle dotted, or once a bar reaches this middle dotted line, this minimum height, it will turn around and begin to grow and get taller. That can be true here, where it gets taller in the next element, and even in our rows too, it grew from left to right in this row. So that is also consistent throughout the matrix. So if we take both of these patterns of logic and we go to our third column, and let me actually get our element 6 and pull him aside so we can work with that later. Here, the first bar is getting taller, and the fourth bar has reached its maximum height, so it's going to shrink. And the first bar was at its minimum height, which is why it got taller. These two middle bars, we need to look at the difference between row 1 and row 2 to see what direction they're going, because we don't know if they just hit the dotted line or if they just hit the top line. We don't know what direction they're going. And it seems like they are both shrinking. They're both going down. So they're coming down from their maximum height. So we know that our second bar, because it's at its minimum height, will turn around and grow. So it will go up by 1 notch. We know that the third bar is going to be at the dotted line. So we can erase until it is at the dotted line. And we can eliminate answer choices that don't show the third bar being at the dotted line. Then finally, we need to reduce this bar by 1 notch and add 1 notch to this bar to follow the pattern here. And that gives us answer choice D as our correct answer.